I guess like that. Okay. That's... wow. That's amazing. Doesn't need to be that high, I don't think, but... oh, okay, this seems like it might be cool. Alright, well, so welcome to the demo of Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown. I'm a pretty big Star Trek fan, I have to say. Ever since the Captain Kirk days, you know, with William Shatner from, you know, 67 to 69, which was the series I started off with. And then when Star Trek Next Generation came out, it took a little while for me to get into it. I think it wasn't, I mean, even though I watched it since the first season, you know, with Denise Crosby and that episode, Skin of Evil, where, you know, it's kind of like minor spoiler, but I mean, at this point, I think, you know, anyone who cares about it already will know, but where she was killed by the alien creature there. But I think it wasn't until maybe the second or even third season where I really started, you know, getting into it. And then, of course, you know, it took me a while also to get into DS9, and a little while to get into Voyager as well. But I eventually, you know, really enjoyed, you know, this show, Star Trek Voyager, and all of the Star Trek. Enterprise was one where I didn't care so much for it. I did not like Captain Archer and the crew for some reason. I didn't like the ship, how it just looked. You know, I guess I'm so used to now, if it's not original Captain Kirk Star Trek, I'm so used to the ships being like how we've grown to know and love it, you know, in, you know, Star Trek Next Generation. And beyond, you know, really, you know, up to Voyager. I also like Star Trek Picard, by the way, and then I'm not even going to speak on Star Trek Starfleet Academy, but I think, you know, with the replicators and the holodeck, that's like the big thing. The holodeck, to me, it's its own little world, you know, when they have adventures, and, you know, as my brother and I would call it, you know, the holodeck fuck up episodes, you know, where something would go wrong and they're trapped in there. That's like its own little mini series, you know, in the show. So I really, you know, like that. And because it was lacking that, it made the world, maybe not the world, but the ship feel, you know, smaller to me. But anyways, I think I'm going to get my, you know, face out of here, because there's a lot of you know, like the UI is filled with a lot of the the kind of stuff you would see like on the computer console of Star Trek. A lot of complex things. So I don't want my face to get in the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it. You are the captain of the Federation starship USS Voyager. Manage your ship and crew. Plot a course. Okay.
So, a few days back, this
So I think this
Captain
was start.
Janeway breezes into my cozy penal colony
Is
like
that
she owns the
DS9?
place. She's stern and smells like coffee and
So
regulation.
keep in mind this is the demo.
And the kicker? She served with my old man on the Albatani. Turns out her security chief, Tuvok, was playing spy on a Maquis ship that vanished in the
I
Badlands.
remember all of this. It
Now
follows
Janeway
all
needs
7.
that
Is it
missing
7?
ship found.
7.
And because
I think
of
7.
my
7
past
seasons of the show.
associations, I'm apparently the resident expert on the Badlands. I find the missing Maquis. She puts in a good word for me at my next parole review. Simple. Still, the view is infinitely better than a whole.
This looks really
It's
good.
not every day you get a front row seat on a brand new Intrepid class starship.
At least the exterior looks very faithful to
USS
what you would expect
might even get to touch the
from a
helm.
Star Trek game. Really looks like how it looked in the show, the way you would imagine it. Yeah, I mean, now I knew about this being a little bit, weaker, with the faces, but I don't care so much about that. The pictures here of them look really, really nice. So, okay, I understand that this is more of like a resource management game, something like a, Fallout Shelter. I've never played the other one. People are equating this one to, which is like faster than light, is it called? FTL. I've never played it, even though I think I do own that one, but I just never got around to playing it. So it's going to be a lot of the resource management and upgrading Voyager, because right now it's going to become in shambles, I know, just like in the, when in the show it wasn't really that bad. The ship wasn't so in disarray that, as much as it's showing it here, not right now, but after I go through the array, when the caretaker takes me. So it's going to start from first season and going through to the 7th season until you eventually can go home. But here's something, there's a choice in here, and just like in the show where Janeway can choose to just use the array and have the caretaker take them back, or to help out the what are they called? Ocampin aliens? I forgot now. Which is Kess's race. Neelix is a different race, but the Ocampins, to help them out, which would, result in having to destroy the array, which is their way home, and you're trapped here. But you could make a decision where you just abandon them and just go home, and it would be game over. So that's what I love about this, is that this idea, it's more not just resource management, but also a big part of it is it's story rich, story driven, like a choose your own adventure. So you can play things out differently than how the episodes played out, the seasons of the show, so when you're watching the show, right, or any show really, you would probably be speaking to yourself saying, I would have made this choice, or what would have happened if the captain made this choice. Well, now, you can do that. Okay, gentlemen, welcome to Voyager. Ensign Kim, you're fresh from the academy, ready for your first deep space assignment. I will say, I can't wait I think it's around the 4th season, to get 7 of 9. She was, of course, my personal favorite. Really hot, but I wanted to see if there's a way I could keep Kess and have 7 of 9, on the starship at the same time. Reporting for duty, Captain. It's an honor to be here. I hope I live up to your expectations. Ensign Kim, I trust you've already met Tom Paris, our esteemed observer, a former Maquis pilot who will help us search the Badlands for the Maquis vessel. So this is before, of course, Chakotay, joined and everything, and Balana. With all due respect, ma'am, observer is hardly a title befitting my talents. I'm the best damn pilot in this sector, Call me extraordinaire, Ensign. I remember this actor. Something Duncan. Neil. Something Neil Duncan. Or Duncan McNeil or Duncan Neil. He was on a Twilight Zone episode, the new Twilight Zones from the 80s, early mid 80s, I think, or was it maybe more closer to, not early, but I think maybe mid late 80s. It was an episode for anyone that even remembers that show. So not the the 60s, 50s, 60s, was it? Twilight Zone, not those, but the one from the 80s. Now I'm talking mid 80s. It's the episode where this actor, the Tom Paris actor, shared this. I don't even know what you call it, but how to even describe it. But he shared this kind of like the health and the well-being of his body and his health with a woman from the past. I'm talking like Little House on the Prairie days. Okay, so they could speak to each other. Okay, but it's kind of like in the head, like they hear each other in each other's head, but they have to speak out loud, and they could see through each other's eyes, and they share the taste. So if I'll call him Paris because I'm not sure what his name was. It was like Duncan McNeil, but I'll call him Paris. Where the Paris actor would eat something like ice cream, and she would taste it. He could look up in the sky and see airplanes, and she would see it from her Little House in the Prairie days. What was that, like 1800s, something like that? So I really liked that episode. Anyways, and so where it started off, I think she was sick, so he was sick as well. So they share the sickness. Okay, so anyways, the Maquis. Wow, I've heard a lot of stories about them. Relax, I was a Maquis only for a few weeks before I was captured and sent to a lovely little penal colony in New Zealand. Penal colony. Enough chatter, gentlemen. All hands, this is a captain. Report to your stations. Helm, take us to the Badlands. Maximum warp. Oh, by the way, that Paris actor, he was also in Masters of the Universe from the 80s with Dolph Lundgren, Frank Langella, Meg Foster. The Badlands are treacherous regions of space where violent plasma storms can cripple even the most advanced starships. Captain Janeway observes the swirling chaos from the view screen, a subtle smile playing on her lips. She's ready for the challenge. Scanners are picking up no other vessels in the system, Captain. It's your time to shine, Mr. Paris. Any idea where your former colleagues might be hiding? I wasn't expecting Maquis of the Year, Captain, but they did prefer underground bases, remote planets, and, Captain, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm reading a coherent Tetrion beam scanning us, and a displacement wave heading toward us. Yeah, some of the words there's a very good chance I may know how to pronounce them because of my knowledge from watching the show and all the films. So a colossal wave of turbulent energy surges towards Voyager, its power dwarfing anything the crew has ever seen. With no time to analyze the threat, emergency measures are initiated. Red alert, Helm. Evasive maneuvers. Too late. The wave will intercept us in 5 seconds. Brace for impact. I'll try to somewhat emulate the voice, but it's just not going to sound right. I can hear how their voices sound like in my head. Really. She's almost to the point where it's slightly nasally. Kate Mulgrew, her voice, and as Captain Janeway, fire all phasers. And I had to get used to that for a while, but it's kind of like it's like her signature voice now, something that defines her. Aftermath. As the crew regains consciousness, they find their bridge in total devastation. Twisted metal, sparking consoles, and injured crewmates paint a grim picture. What just happened? Damage report. Major hull and deck damage. The transporters are offline, and we're receiving casualty reports. Oh, hold to skip or... Yeah, I'm going to continue. Bridge to sickbay. Doctor, I've got injured crew on the bridge, and, doctor's going to be... He's not going to last long, which causes them to have to indefinitely, activate the EMH, the emergency holographic doctor, hologram. What did it stand for? Emergency medical hologram, right? And, eventually he gets a mobile emitter and all of that. Doctor, damn, Captain, we're losing systems across multiple desks. The deuterium tanks are empty. Warp core gone to gray mode. We're on reserves, barely. Mr. Paris, take the helm. Scan for the nearest source of deuterium. External sensors are offline. If it's Tuvok, it's like sensors. Stellar cartography must be down. Voyager is blind, Captain. Oh, great. Janeway to engineering. We need stellar cartography back online now. Click on the question mark icon on the left of the screen to revisit any tutorial screen. The controller doesn't concern me. Activate the stellar cartography. That place. Okay, in the lower left corner or lower left part of the ship. To activate it, open up its menu by selecting the room and switching on the power supply. Switch on. Allows to scan points of interest and see the resource type and amount in another system. Switch on. Captain, sensors are picking up something out there, but what Harry's trying to stammer is we're not in the Badlands anymore. Yeah, now they're in the Delta Quadrant. Yeah, sucks for them. Or maybe not so bad, because now you don't have to follow the rules. Sort of, I mean. Like you don't have to report to anyone. What is this? Why is it like that? What are those lines? It's what? Like Pong or something. Not really Pong, but what is that thing? Where are we? That's the array, right? The caretaker. If the sensors are working, we just jumped over 70,000 light years into the Delta Quadrant. The Delta Quadrant? How? Captain, life support systems are failing. This array will have to wait. Mr. Paris, take the helm. Find us deuterium source. A deuterium source. Okay, here we are. Scan points of interest. Marked with white question marks to reveal resources. Scan until you reveal deuterium, the fuel resource. What I love about this is that it's kind of walking through this beginning part. I know there's going to come a point where it's going to stop holding your hand, but I can really see this being very jarring, very daunting. If not for this, and if it didn't show it like this and pause it and it just went to the screen and there's like pop-up bubbles. I'm glad that they kind of did it like this to illustrate this and show a little diagram. To me, it's much better. This kind of reminds me of the planet scanning in Mass Effect 2, right? So here we are. Data, and I will scan that. I have to hold it down? Okay. Let's grab the deuterium there. Navigate your ship by traveling to various locations. While traveling, time passes in the form of cycles. So Voyager, and yeah, set course. Okay, got it. When visiting points of interest, you can choose between different approaches with different risks and outcomes. The different colors of the chance bar represent the possible outcomes. Dark green and light green, excellent and good outcomes. High rewards, such as extra resources, morale increases, etc. Yellow, average outcome. Can include minor setbacks. And orange, which I don't see it there. And red, yeah, bad. lead to low rewards, medium to major setbacks like destroyed rooms, hull damage, or severe injuries. Now, I do wonder about this when it's kind of doing these kind of checks. A type of dice roll. Are there skills like that you level up somewhere, like in maybe the captain's attributes or something you can do that can increase or decrease your chances for certain checks? Just basically like a D&D game or just any RPG or a tabletop D&D. It's not just completely random roll. You roll the dice and you add whatever, like say you're rolling for initiative. You roll for initiative, you roll the d20, and then you add your, whatever initiative bonus you may have. Like, say, if you have improved initiative. I don't remember now, but is it like +6 or something like that, +4, +6? You add that, and say you don't have that, and you have maybe low, is it dexterity? You have low dexterity. You might even have a negative to your initiative score. So so I'm wondering if it works a similar way instead of just one hard roll and and not relying on your skills. I wouldn't like it like that. So let's see where this goes. Cool. I like that. It's very Star Trek-like. Look at all at the top, all of these numbers and everything. Very cool. So now what? Nothing to reveal. Oh, that's super cool. Collect and store deuterium to change. Okay. To reveal resources. Scan until you reveal deuterium. I see. Okay, I got it. Captain, we've detected massive deuterium levels in the atmosphere of this Class J gas giant. Atmospheric conditions are harsh, but the potential fuel yield is exceptional. Risk to fly directly into the atmosphere. Deploy collector's probe for a safer, though less efficient, collection. Bustard collectors. So it's like almost 50-50 chance. I mean, slightly on the green side, but I'll risk it. Oh, very cool. Our bustard collectors were able to collect a high amount of deuterium. So that paid off. Captain, we can now deactivate gray mode. I really like this. Captain, ready to increase warp core output. The warp core is a reactor that powers the ship. To generate energy, it continuously consumes deuterium. Depending on the reactor level, you produce more energy. But more deuterium is required. Yeah. Increase the power output by selecting main engineering and switching the warp core to a higher tier. Powers your ship to generate energy. It continuously deuterium. I always thought that the ship was also powered by, I mean, I know it's all fake, but, and I hear all of this, as I guess as they call it, you know, what did he call it? Star Trek jargon or technobabble. That's what it was called, technobabble. You know, but dilithium crystals I thought had something to do with powering the ship, not deuterium. I could be wrong about that. You know, I understand things have to change with the game, but again, it's all fake, and I didn't really bother. I don't go so far. I'm a huge fan, yes, but I don't go so far as to try to memorize the entire language of the Klingon or Vulcan language. I know some things, you know, kapla, chika. I can kind of mimic the sounds of a Klingon, you know, the Klingon language, things like that, and I understand, you know, when I hear the technobabble, but in terms of trying to logically make it work, I mean, I know there are crazy people that, you know, crazy fans, like if you've ever seen Galaxy Quest, right, starring Alan Rickman, Sigourney Weaver, and of course Tim Allen and Sam Rockwell, a bunch of others. You know, you have people like, I forgot that actor's name now, but he was like the nerd guy that really knew everything, the ins and outs of the ship, and had all the technical questions and everything. So there are people actually like that. The warp core is a reactor that powers a ship. Okay, depending on the reactor level, you produce more energy. Okay, increase the power output by selecting main engineering and switching the warp core to a higher tier. Yeah, look at, oh, I love this. Look at this. Now, hold on, there, this is how you can do it. Look at this. This is kind of similar to, very similar to Fallout. I'm sorry, I have this really happy feeling inside seeing this. You know, this is very much like, you know, Fallout Shelter, but I could just, you know, use the generic term and say just, you know, it's like Fallout Shelter with a Star Trek skin on it, but it really looks like Star Trek. Look at this. The detail is far beyond, you know, Shelter, Fallout Shelter, which is still a fun game, but look at this. I'm sorry, I'm just taking all this in. Okay, so gray mode. Okay, go up to the next tier. Our energy levels are returning to normal, Captain. Good. Now, what about this thing, this array? So now to turn her attention to that. I can't tell, Captain, but our scanners detect a Maquis vessel next to it. Scan for life signs. Try hailing them. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Scan the ship for life signs, Ensign. There's no one on board, Captain. Scan the array. 40% chance plus 35%. What about the array? It seems... Oh, what about the array? It seems our sensors can't penetrate it. Okay, so we failed that. We'll just have to see for ourselves. I want the transporter room repaired and ready. So now we're going to probably go back to the dollhouse view of the ship. Mr. Paris, get us to a duranium deposit. We'll need it to repair the transporter room. Okay. Yeah, see. Now, I could see myself forgetting a lot of the mechanics of this game. Say if I step away from this game for even a few short weeks or even like a month or two, and several months for sure, I'm going to have to restart it and relearn all of this, right? Deuterium, your fuel that powers the warp drive, duranium and tritanium, essential for construction and repair. Crew is needed to operate key systems and rooms. Okay, see, now it's starting to get... Oh, man. Essential for construction. Okay, so this is like the material for repairing, just like a Fallout game, right? Okay, and you know, like Elder Scrolls Online, you need, as you call it, mats or material to build like armor or swords and stuff. Deuterium is your fuel. Okay, I'm understanding that. Okay, so once again, I have to scan different planets. This way, 7 cycles, 8 cycles. Okay, these are like... Oh, I like this. It's really cool. Caretaker's array. Alright, since these are closer to the array, go here. Oh shit, did I scan that before? We detected a small debris field scattered across a wide area. The debris appears to be the remnants of a vessel. Maybe we can find something useful here. Collect any easily accessible resources, or use a tractor beam to try to clump up the debris for easier collection. Okay, see, this one, it's even if it's in, you know, the yellow, it's going to be not so bad. I'm going to risk it. Oh, how excellent. Lost fuel. A lost due full storage. Lost due full storage? Okay. Okay, so how do I... here we are. Oh, okay, that's cool. I like this. I'm really getting the urge to want to buy this game. What was the next thing? What did she say? It was, you know, needed? I wish I could go back to the dialogue. Deuterium at max capacity. Shit. Yeah, I wish I could go back to the dialogue. Transporters, right? That's what it was. Shuttle bay. Oh shit, don't get too close. Transporter, okay. Good. Good. Okay, this was... Okay, that's the bridge. Where... Oh, where was the... Was this the main engineer? Okay, this is where I... Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Transporter room. The ship's primary hub for... Okay, I would like to collect uranium to repair the transporter room. Oh. I thought I frickin' did that, but... Missing resources. I thought it just said... Deuterium at max capacity. And what do I need? Oh shit, this is really... Okay. Pair. Oh, duranium, deuterium. Okay, yeah. Oh shit, it's... Okay. Deuterium, duranium, it's all different. Let's take array. Oh, yeah, I should scan these things before. Nothing to reveal. Oh, upgrade stellar cartography. Right. Slab. Phaser control. I feel like... Okay. Oops. Engineering. Stellar cartography. Ah. Switch on. Upgrade. Missing technology. Okay. Alright, well. Duranium. Here we go. Duranium. Deuterium. Duranium. Good. All right. 12. 10. 8. Let's do it. Captain, we found an abandoned ship adrift in space. It's powered down, but structurally sound, with sealed storage compartments. Leave the storage alone and focus on salvaging from other parts of the ship. Destroy the vessel. For now. Whoops, too close. Support. Phaser control room. Let's see. Oh, no. I have no choice right now. We now have all the duranium we need. Engineering is standing by to repair the transporter, Captain. Damaged rooms are not operational. Select a room to bring up the room controls. If you have the resources and work teams needed, you can initiate repairs. Assign a hero to the room to receive an efficiency bonus required. Hero, okay. No heroes. Okay, that would be. Well, in engineering, that would be Balana. But for now. Duranium, yeah. Okay. Transporters are back online, Captain. Mr. Paris, set a course for the array. It's time we got some answers. Right, indeed. Okay, but, you know, since I'm here... I'm going... Oh, yeah. Risk to send a work team to perform repairs. Navigational data. Okay, abandon for now. Repair it. And phaser control. No. Is it done? Ah. Okay. Great. Great. What? Oh, okay. Okay, I understand. ahead and do that. Then it should be done, and then I'll just go back over there. They're almost useless against shields. Providing more energy to weapons increase the rate of fire. Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. So destroying the vessel and salvage the debris. Alright, that was a risk, which ended up to be bad, but okay, good, good. I feel that kind of made up for it. Okay, well, holodeck, energy, okay, mess hall, let's repair that. You know, I would like to repair things, a bunch of things before, you know, traveling somewhere, so at least it's, you know, something is being repaired. Research in progress. Okay, am I you know, I'm not lacking in duranium. No life support. Huh. How can I increase this? This is really cool. I like that. Where was the engineering? Here it is. Okay. Here. Workshop. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh. Resume building. Oh gosh. Not enough work team, really. Oops. Alright, let's just get to it. Risk to fly directly into the atmosphere. Very good. Very good. Okay. So now so now do I have okay, good. Okay, so what don't I need for now? So I could turn off the power, you know? That's actually good. Okay. Ensign Kim and Mr. Paris, get ready for your first away mission. Okay, very good. Away missions present a series of challenges. Heroes possess skills and traits. Okay. Skills and traits. With matching skills for your away team. Quick-witted. Okay. I know these two become like really the best of friends, right? And they're always in the holodeck doing their Captain Proton, missions. Quick-witted. Okay, start mission. Okay. Decide on an approach and select the hero to complete the challenge with the appropriate skill. If the skill is lower than the requirement, the success chance is displayed. Right there. Right, okay. Of course. Captain, we seem to have materialized in the middle of a cornfield. Yeah, remember this. This place, it's eerily similar to Earth, but something's off. Any suggestions on what to do next? Required. 29 required. Ooh. for any footprints or strange noises. Scan for any life signs or strange energy signatures. This one seems to be, you know, a little bit better. Better chance. Harry and Tom use their tricorders to scan for life signs and detect a strange energy spike emanating from a nearby area. Following the readings, they navigate through the corn and find a farm with people working the fields. An old man sits on the porch of a nearby farmhouse, strumming a banjo. Yep. It's, you know, it's just like in the episode. After a challenge, the participating team members are fatigued and their skill values are reduced. Let them rest for the next challenge to recover and plan ahead accordingly. Fatigued. Oh, yeah, look at that. Yes, to rest. Captain, this old man seems harmless enough. He might know what's going on here. How should we approach him? Okay, yes, I'm slightly fatigued here. Demand to know what's going on. Try to read his body language for any clues. Argue with facts that this can't be a farm on Earth and you want to know what's going on. Okay. Okay, this seems... Let's do that. So yeah, the attributes or skills, whatever, of the character do come into play. You know what though? It's like yes and no, because they come into play, I feel, to determine how much of the green you will have, whether red or yellow. But what seems to be RNG, random, is this going back and forth, and whether it lands on the red or the green is pretty much random. But because you have more green, you know, you have a higher chance that it's going to stop within the green. So this is where the RNG comes into play. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that, but we're going to see as it goes along, how it goes along. But I mean, it just makes sense, you know, to pick something that will be more in the green for you, so it's just much higher chance for. So in a way, I guess it does make sense, but it's, I don't know, it's not exactly like, you know, with D&D with the dice roll. I feel as if there's more things that come into play. But that might be due to, you know, say you have multiple bonuses that give you more dice rolls to go into your favor. You have things like, you know, in D&D you can roll with advantage or disadvantage. Or say someone gives you inspiration, like a bard. You have a bard in your party, so you can roll another, like, D4 or something and add that result to your, you know, whatever your roll is, you know. I think that is the difference there. This one, it's just like a one-time thing, and then you just kind of go with it and hope it goes, you know, it lands within the green. Harry and Tom discreetly observe the old man, trying to analyze his body language. Something feels off, like he's putting on an act, but they can't quite put his finger on him, or finger on why. The old man seems perplexed by the presence, muttering about Harry and Tom being early. Yeah, remember that. You're early. Yeah, that old man. Been such a long time, but, you know, I have to say, I didn't revisit, like, seasons 1 through 3 as much as I revisited the ones when 7 of 9 came into the picture, and I think that's for obvious reasons. But yeah, although I have to say I did like Kess's character, and how it is, and how it is not their turn yet. Okay. He invites them to stay on the farm and wait, offering them some fresh corn cobs. You can select more than one hero for a challenge if they possess the required skill. If the cumulated skill value is equal or higher than the required number, you have a chance for critical success. Golden part of the chance bar. Okay, so this is where, okay, so you can have sort of like rolling with advantage kind of thing. That's really interesting. Okay. The old man isn't much help. We'll try to find the Maquis ourselves. There's a large barn behind the farmhouse. The tricorder readings are off the charts. There's definitely something strange about it, especially that black wall. So, I know I can't really save it anywhere, and I know that I heard at least that they changed it in the final game where you can save pretty much almost anywhere, like in mid-mission maybe, whereas before it would just auto-save, and if it's not in a convenient place to save and you have to quit, then you're sort of screwed and you have to kind of replay that whole mission. But okay, so investigate the barn wall for a hidden door. Try to analyze what these energy readings could be. Try to find a way to break the illusion of the wall. Ooh, okay. Okay, see, now this one has 2. This is really cool. Let's do that. Yeah, you see that? Look at that. Look at that. See, here you just have the red, but here I'm over, so that's, 35. So it's like either green or yellow. So that's really cool. Okay, well, wait a minute. Did it say the gold? No, the gold would be critical success. Whoops. Okay. Yeah. It's not yellow. That would be critical success, right? Or was it a critical success? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Harry and Tom try to disrupt the energy field, causing a flicker in the air. But before they can break the illusion, the people from the field burst in, wielding farm tools as weapons. The old man appears and reveals the barn is an illusion, the back wall dissolving to show a bluish, glowing room with unconscious people, including a tattooed man and a half-Klingon woman, lie on surgical tables. Sometimes you have to make major decisions that influence how the story proceeds. These decisions are marked with a golden outline. These people must be the missing Maquis. They are being held. Yeah, Captain, we must get them out. Wake up the tattooed man. That's Chakotay. Quick-witted. Wake up the half-Klingon woman. It's cool. Let's do that. Yeah. So again, I'm not sure if this means critical success, but let's see what happens. Hopefully I land in the gold. Okay, your choice has consequences. Critical success. Yeah, okay, so it was critical success. Harry sprints towards the half-Klingon woman, hoping to rouse her. As he reaches out, the old man stops him. A look of concern on his face. Before Harry can react, a blinding white light fills the room and everything goes blank. That is great. Look at that. Okay, so that's the end of... I should have read that a bit more, the result, but that's okay. Tom Paris unavailable. A sudden return. Captain Janeway anxiously awaits the return of her away team when Harry Kim unexpectedly materializes behind her. What happened to the array? Whoa, I'm back on Voyager? Yeah, that's weird, right? What happened over there? Oh, what happened over there, Mr. Kim? We lost contact with you for several hours. Hours? But we were just there. Right, Tom? Tom? He's not here. Seems like he's still on the array. I hope, Captain, we're being hailed by the Maquis. Starfleet, I don't know what you did to our commander, but I can still ram this wreck into your precious ship. Yep. That is like a Klingon maneuver, you know. Perhaps today is a good day to die. Ram us. Oh, ram us. One of our own is also missing. It would make sense to postpone the ramming until we're all accounted for. Does that sound reasonable? We're beaming over. Great. I wish I could save it. Can I save it at this point? Despite Janeway's invitation, the arrival of the Maquis crew is fraught with tension. Both sides remain wary as they prepare to discuss their shared predicament. Don't play games, Starfleet. We're armed and ready to defend ourselves. I wouldn't have it any other way. Glad to have you back, Tuvok. Likewise, Captain. Ms. Torres, I must inform you that I was assigned to infiltrate the Maquis. I never liked you, Vulcan. That is unsurprising. I assure you, I performed my Maquis duties to the highest standards. Patak! Pitak! Right, that's how you pronounce it. Patak! Yeah. It's like a bad word, like maybe son of a bitch or something in Klingon. You win some, you lose some. Let's focus on bringing Mr. Paris and your commander back. His name is Chakotay, and we can't get back in that easy. They're sealed, and their communications are cut off. Lieutenant Tuvok, get down to engineering and find a way to bypass whatever's jamming our communications. Report back as soon as you have a solution. Okay, please allow me to save this. Captain, the ship's status remains critical. Repair protocols are imperative. We require resources, and the engineering office is mobilize additional workforces. Prioritize life support. Secure core decks and restore Deck 5 functionality first to gain access to the engineering office. To be able to supply power to a room, you need to activate the life support unit of the corresponding deck. Each life support unit consumes energy, so plan accordingly. Okay. You need life support of the corresponding deck. What's this? So, how do I know where this thing is saved, right? And of course it's a mess. I'll have to fix it before we can even use it. Repairs in progress. I have to look for, keep my eyes peeled for the, the autosave symbol so I know. Until completion, it would be logical to scan all planets in the system and gather more deuterium and duranium. Explore the system and gather more resources until the engineering office is repaired. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, well. Yeah, I don't know where it last saved, but let's see. I'm taking a risk here. Yeah, okay, very cool. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think this is super, super cool, and I really, just by playing that little bit of it, I'm feeling very anxious to get this game, but I feel like I'm going to still hold off because, you know, it's still for like $30, and I feel it's a bit high for a game like this. I would say somewhere around 15, possibly get it on sale for slightly less, $10 to $15 maybe. Then for sure I can get it. And besides that, I'm saving up and waiting for Solasta 2 to come out, I think in a couple of weeks. So in any case, I do hope you enjoy. Give this demo a try, especially if you are a Star Trek fan, but really especially if you're a Star Trek Voyager fan. But Star Trek in general, I feel like you're going to enjoy this. And if you're into this type of gameplay with resource management, you're into like a choose your own adventure style gameplay which puts storytelling, you know, ahead of, you know, fast first person shooter action or just like an ARPG or something, you're absolutely going to enjoy it. So okay, that's it for now, and see you.